You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. By going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com, you can make this possible.
And, you know, we keep making the point on this show that cops can be stupid cops no matter what they look like. Well, a black cop in Florida, folks, is out of a job. Dennis Turner was terminated yesterday and charged with battery against the children. And battery charges against these children arrests have been dropped. This is a man who arrested two 6-year-old girls in Orlando. Orlando Police Chief Orlando Rolón said Dennis Turner, who had been suspended after the incidents took place Thursday at a charter school there, did not follow the department's policy regarding approval for a supervisor for any arrest of a minor younger than 12 and apologized to the children's parents. Now, they claim he is a school resource officer. No, he's a cop. And Kelly, what's shameful here is not just that this officer arrested these children. What's also shameful is that this charter school allowed for these kids to be arrested and to be handcuffed. And as somebody who supports charter schools, I will call them out and cuss them out, just like I would if this was a traditional school, if this was an all-white school, if this was an all-black school. It is idiotic for us to be sitting here criminalizing our children. You handcuff and arrest 2 6-year-old kids?
There are no words to describe how idiotic and how outraged I feel about this. The fact that we are talking about this is a great thing. This is not the only 2 instances in Florida in which this has happened. My understanding is that there have been over 2,000 cases such as this between the ages of 5 and 12 children in Florida who have been arrested over the course of a school year, this past school year, or, you know, within the past 5 years at the very least. It is absolutely insane. And I've said on your show before regarding, you know, police officers who just have no, they just can't conceive other people being human beings outside of themselves. If you have something in your mind that does not connect with humanity, if you cannot put yourself in someone else's shoes in your job such that you are protecting other people, you don't need to have that job. If you are in a client-facing job, career, such as a police officer, especially a police officer at an elementary school or a charter school, if you cannot see that person, that child, as a child and try to discipline them as such to the extent that you can in a charter school or should be disciplining them in a charter school, you shouldn't be in that job. They're not criminals. They're 6 years old. And the fact that he even did something of this nature, black, white, or indifferent, it's absolutely stupid of him. So yeah, he deserves his job to be gone, and I have no hard feelings regarding it.
Jason.
You know, as a parent, this one hits pretty hard. We oftentimes talk about the way that black children are treated in schools, the school discipline issue that we have both in traditional schools and charter schools. And, you know, one of the things that, you know, it makes me think of, first of all, the age of criminal responsibility around the world is usually around 16. So for you to hold a 6-year-old accountable and put them in cuffs, you know, I think about my daughter and some of the anxiety and fears she has. You know, if she were to come home and the things that I would have to deal with and that our family would have to deal with after being put in handcuffs like a criminal, you know, that would be really hard on our family. And I'm telling you right now, I would raise hell in that district. It wouldn't just be good enough that they were fired, that officer was fired. I would go after the police. I would go after the school district. I would go after the principal. I would go after anybody who was there to allow that to happen. And the last thing that I want to say is that there's a thing, you know, some research that came out of Georgetown University called adultification, where we start to look at young black girls as if they're grown-ups when they're at the age of 5. We start sexualizing them. We think that they need less nurturing. We think that they need less protection. And I think that this is a perfect example of that. And when you look at the research on adultification that came out of Georgetown, the researchers, the people they gauged were not all white. This was a multiracial field. So this is how white supremacy works. It's not that black people are immune to it. It's not something that melanin blocks for us. Melanin helps us with the sun, but it doesn't help us with white supremacy and the things that come from it, including the things that can harm our own daughters and children.
Well, absolutely right. And so, again, this officer should have been fired. An apology simply is not enough. Some common damn sense should have taken place where he says, I'm not going to arrest a 6-year-old.
All right, folks, back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, you've heard me talk a lot about marijuanastock.org because I want to keep you informed of investment opportunities that make sense. We've all watched the growth of the cannabis industry. A recent report by New Frontier Data estimates the global cannabis market at more than $340 billion. We know that marijuana legalization is sweeping the country state by state. We also know that marijuana has a good cousin, the hemp plant, with a much higher concentration of CBD. That means hemp gives you all the medical benefits of marijuana without getting you high. Until recently, hemp farming was practically illegal in the United States and heavily regulated by the DEA. However, that all changed with the 2018 Farm Bill, creating one of the largest commodities worldwide. They need land to grow all the plants, and that's where our friends at 420 Real Estate come in. Their business model is pretty simple. They buy land that supports hemp CBD grow operations and lease it to licensed high-paying tenants. That's right, they are hemp CBD landlords, and you can get in on the action. Now, 420 Real Estate has given something special for the Roland Martin Unfiltered family. Originally, the minimum investment was $500. You can now get in as little as $200. This is a crowdfunding campaign going from $200 up to $10,000. Again, this is a $340 billion global industry that is still growing. You can participate with as little as $200. To invest, go to marijuanastock.org. This is marijuanastock.org. Get in the game and get in the game now. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.